Hi, my name is Taylor Gall, and I teach your student seventh grade language arts. So a little bit about me is that I am originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where I grew up. And then I went to Marquette University for my undergraduate degree. And I live in West Seattle with my husband and my dog, Sunny. Here he is being a little crazy. I love kayaking, I love hiking, I love being outside, and I love to travel. And I love to learn new things. I like to learn at least one new thing a year. This year it's pottery. Last year it was sailing. Wasn't super successful in the sailing, but if somebody ever invited me, I could figure it out on the water. Can't go by myself though. That'd be too much. Like I said, I went to Marquette for my undergrad, and then I got my master's in education through the University of Illinois. And I also hold a graduate certificate in library media studies. So I love reading, I love writing, I love media literacy, and this is my passion. I'm also from a family of teachers, which is exciting. This is my mom's last year teaching first grade. She's retiring after this year, which is really impressive and exciting. So I grew up going into her classroom, and that's what taught me that I wanted to be a secondary teacher. So if you teach elementary school, you are my hero and you are amazing. I have a lot of expectations for your students, which means that I also have a lot of expectations for myself. When I'm asking students to do hard things, which I will, I'm giving them the support to reach those goals. That support might be in-class help. That support might be during Gator time. It might also be something that is a recorded video that they can go back and watch. So I just want you to know that there's always lots of resources that they can access to help them in this class. I'm also a really understanding person. Life happens. So please reach out to me and let me know if there's ever anything that might be impacting your students' ability to pay attention or be present in class. I want to make sure that I'm supporting them as a student, but also supporting them as a person. Each day is a new start, which means that when we come in class, we come in fresh and ready for a new day, a new beginning. And I am also always learning and changing my approach to education to best fit the need of my students. And also, I'm on your team. We want the same thing for your kid, and that is for them to do well, for them to be successful, but also for them to have a positive relationship with school and a positive relationship with language arts. So that is what I'm striving to do. And that's also what I know you are striving to do too. Here's the thing I love to talk about. So during trimester 1, we first and foremost focus on short stories. These are mostly about identity and coming of age because that fits really well into our second unit, which is the outsiders. And in those first 2 units, we're really focused on literary analysis. So we are doing reading comprehension work. We are looking into inferences, theme, commentary, concrete details, really getting ready to write our first big essay, which happens with the outsiders. So the short stories unit is about us remembering what we already know from 6th grade, learning a few new tips and tricks, but ultimately getting ready to write that big essay when we read the outsiders. In high cap, when we read The Outsiders, we also read an additional choice novel. I have lots and lots of suggestions, but it should just be a novel that is about coming of age or about identity. There's so many really wonderful coming of age novels. So your student can pick something that they like, but also pick something that is challenging to them, or that is going to kind of bring them to the next level of their own reading. And then at the end of the first trimester, we focus on a mystery unit, which is really exciting. So we learn about the mystery genre, we read a mystery book, and then we also learn how we can be mystery writers ourselves. Then we have trimester 2. We begin with an argumentative writing mini unit. So we learn about how to write persuasively. We have a in-class debate, which I love. And that also can teach your students whether or not, or kind of show your students whether or not they want to take debate as 8th graders as an elective or in high school. Then we also do a unit where we read a choice Native American novel. And then we end with reading Ghost Boys. So in this unit, or in this trimester, we're really focused on argumentative writing, but then also still that literary analysis, which really does carry us through the entire year, because that's what they're going to be expected to do the most in 8th grade and in high school when it comes to language arts. We're also, though, introducing research writing and reporting, and that comes with our Ghost Boys unit. We have an independent research mini unit at the end of it, where students are able to choose a topic that they're interested in and do some research. And then they'll be supported in some outside reading with that as well. Then in trimester 3, we are doing some more with text comparison, which is going to be something that they do more and more, especially in 8th grade. So they will be reading the Hunger Games and comparing it and finding comparisons in Greek mythology, which I know that a lot of students are independently interested in. So we'll do some Greek mythology learning, we'll read the Hunger Games, and then they'll find where they see some overlap and some inspiration. Then we also read They Called Us Enemy, and through They Called Us Enemy, we do some informative writing. They'll be ending the year by making a zine on something that they're interested in and some analysis. And this is also time that we're referring back to our literary analysis. We'll end with a text comparison essay. And I like to teach in a way that is flexible and relevant to the students that I have in my classroom, which means that if we are struggling with a skill, we'll spend more time on it. If we are feeling like we are done with the skill, we're ready to move on. Ms. Starks in 6th grade or whoever they had in 6th grade really covered it and we're feeling great about it. We'll move on to something else to make sure that this remains a relevant and challenging course. And I don't want the word challenging to scare us. It should just be something that is engaging and that is going to make them really think and be their best selves. Late-in redo work is very similar to other teachers. I only allow students to redo work if there are no more opportunities to show growth. So I typically will have 3 to 4 formatives per skill per unit. So if we are working on concrete details in our first unit, we'll have 3 formative times to get graded and show how we did, in addition to all of the wonderful practice we do. But we'll have maybe like 3 grades. I usually won't let students redo anything for a score until there are no more opportunities for formative work. And then we'll do a summative assessment. Summative assessments can also be redone to show growth. I have a late work form for students to do. They fill it out and it will send them a little email reminder saying that they filled out the late work form. So if you are ever looking through cumulative or looking for Schoology and you're like, hey, I'm noticing that you're missing a bunch of work, and they say, oh, I turned it in already, you can always double check that through their email, because when they fill out the form to turn in the work, it will email them a copy of it immediately so that you can see it at home as well. This is super short and sweet. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is usually on email, or giving me a call is great, but it sometimes doesn't come through until the end of the day. So email is great. And then I can also always give you a ring. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you're having a great day, and I can't wait to get to know your students more.